What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. This video is just discussing the upcoming new Battlegrounds in update 44. First I'll start off with the obviously the good points, because I want to make the video too negative, because obviously I'm still hyped for the update 44 with the new BGs, but it does have its issues. I'll start off with the good points. Obviously it's great we're having like new Battlegrounds maps and modes, and they've definitely added some nice stuff to the Battlegrounds, but really that's about as far as I can say for the positive. The negatives really, or the issues that I feel that should be changed. And also I have forgot one other thing. They did change it where there is now a solo queue, because it was only grouped queues, which I feel was going to be an absolute disaster for solo players, because I normally regularly do solo queues on the Battlegrounds, so that was definitely an issue for me. But luckily they've addressed that, and there's group and solo queues now on the new Battlegrounds. That's good news there. But the things I don't like is that I don't like that they've removed the old style Battlegrounds, and they're only going to be coming back, as they stated in the stream they done regarding the Battlegrounds, that the older style will come back in some form during events and stuff like that. But I feel they should have added to the Battlegrounds and not removed. I thought they was just going to add new maps and new modes and not remove the original stuff. Obviously everyone wasn't a massive fan of the original Battlegrounds anyway. It had its faults. But the issue with the newest Battlegrounds, I think the biggest issue that is on everyone's minds, and definitely mine, is that it's basically a 1 against 1. And what I mean by that is it's just one enemy against another enemy. So you've got the 4v4 or the 8v8. And I feel this is going to be a big issue, as with the original Battlegrounds there was 4v4v4. So if one team was dominating another team, at least there would be another team in the mix to hopefully turn the tide, or sort of keep things a little bit more balanced, as in a shape of a triangle, so all the sides would be equal. Obviously you could still get a heavily unbalanced game where a team is just completely crushing both the other two teams, but it just allows a bit more it just allows for more sort of different things to upset the balance of a game. If it's like you're being completely crushed, at least there's another team that can sort of pick up the slack, as it were, or sort of intervene and cause a bit more chaos. So the original Battlegrounds are definitely more chaotic than the newer ones appear to be. But like I said, that's not to say they're still not going to be good. They're still going to be good, but I do feel that where you have it just one side against one side, if for say that a team member quits, then obviously it's going to be instantly unbalanced. Whereas if a team member quits on a 4v4v4, then it doesn't have as bad an effect, because there's still another team to fight against. Whereas, you know, if it's 4v4 and then one player quits, then you're down to 4v3, and that's going to quickly become an issue, because sometimes when players quit, it doesn't normally re-add players instantly, or sometimes not at all. So I can definitely see that being an issue. So it's going to lead to massively unbalanced games. So if you're getting a really strong team hitting a team that's not as good, and then, you know, 2 players quit on that team, then it's basically 2 players against, you know, a team that's going to get they're going to steamroll the final players that have stayed and remained. I'm not a player that personally quits Battlegrounds. I don't think I've ever quit a Battlegrounds, no matter how bad I'm being destroyed, because I just don't think it's fair on the other teammates. I just see it through to the end, even if you are getting absolutely demolished. But I do feel this is an issue. So removing the 4v4v4 I don't think is a step in the right direction. I can see that a 4v4 sounds good on paper, but in practice, even if it's solo queue, you can quickly have an opposing team just basically farming the other team, and with no other team to sort of intervene and cause an issue there, that could lead to some big problems. And obviously it could even finish the match early, because the other team could just quit altogether, because it would just be hopeless, wouldn't it? Once they've got the upper hand, you know, what is there to counter? There's no other team to counter and change the state of play. Obviously there is power-ups they've added in the new Battlegrounds, which is going to introduce different elements and maybe turn the tide of battle, as it were. But to be honest, if you're against a really good team and your team's not as great, you know, you're going to find there's nothing to distract them, and like I said, change the way the battle is going, you know, nothing to upset it as such. So that's what my biggest worry is with the newest Battlegrounds. But like I said, I want to keep it a little bit positive as well, because like I said, I'm glad they have added the solo queue at least, because I think the allowing group queues and no solo queues, you know, like separate, that was going to be just terrible, because you're just going to get really organised groups coming in, steamrolling, you know, 4 really optimised players with a healer against just, you know, randoms. It's just going to be an absolute recipe for disaster. So hopefully they will change this, and the maps are big as well, so on the newer Battlegrounds, so I don't see why they couldn't just add 4v4 again. I still think that's better, just to have that, you know, the upset of the balance, and it just stops one team essentially dominating. Like I said, I know it still does happen, but it's just there's more to cause an upset basically. So yeah, but to be honest, like I said, the new Battlegrounds are still looking good, but they are still got some issues. They are addressing them. Like I said, they've added the solo queue, but really once it hits live, we'll have to see how it actually does play out. But this is a lot of concerns I've seen on forums and posts of players saying that, you know, it's going to be vastly one-sided, you know, and if it does become unsided, then you're the losing player, you know, on that team, then, you know, people are going to be more likely to quit if there's nothing to counter that. So yeah, just let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Drop this video a like, and I'll see you in the next video.